Hey guys, what's up? It's your boy here, and today in this video we're going to be covering the best ways to use your training points, because right now there's a member benefit going on where you could buy back your training points for free. So in today's video I'm going to be showing you guys like exactly what you should be spending your training points on. So let's go ahead and buy this back here, and I'll show you guys. So we have all 47 of our training points back here. Essentially what you guys are going to want to do here is at the lower levels, you guys are going to want to, no matter what kind of school you are, you guys are going to want to train into death. Now you're going to want to train into death for one particular reason here, and I'll teleport to the death school to show you. Okay, so when you get to the death school, the spell you're going to want to train into here is Faint. This is going to be a really good spell for you, especially at the lower levels, especially when you get into really Arc 2. That's when the spell will really kind of kick it into notch for you, because it'll allow you to cast a trap on the other opponent that will be at exactly 70% extra damage to your enemy, as well as a 30% trap to yourself. So you want to go ahead and train into this. It's going to take you from Dark Sprite to Ghoul to the Dream Shield to the Banshee to the Vampire, and then to the Faint. You don't have to worry about the Dream Golem. This one doesn't really isn't really required to get the Faint, just the Vampire and all the way up to Dark Sprite. But that's essentially where you guys are going to want to stop for the Death School anyways. Now obviously if you're Death, you continue on through the
I just
tree
finished
there.
my report on the famous grub of Sunken
That's
City.
great. I didn't care.
Can you please take it to Professor Drake for me?
No, I will not, but thank you for asking. Now, again, no matter what school you are, the next place you guys are going to take a trip down to is the Balance School, and I'll show you guys where exactly, because it's not the actual Balance School. It's going to be the tree outside of the Balance School. All right, so you're going to want to come over here to Niles here, over here at the Crocus Sphinx. You're going to train. Now, depending on the school you are, will depend on what kind of things you get here. So, for instance, I am fire, so I'm part of the elemental school here. So you guys want to pick up the elemental blades if you are fire, ice, or storm. If you are part of the spiritual school sets, which is the death, life, or myth, go ahead and pick up your spirit blade. Now, if you are balance, or you are a life, or a class that is you know, when you're working with a group, can kind of help to set up the hitters. If you have extra training points laying around, I would definitely highly recommend for going for your opposite spirit schools. Like for instance, if I was an ice, for instance, right, and not on my fire, I would pick up the spirit blade here, so that way in the event that I'm a part of a team, whereas like say the death or the myth is the hitter for whatever dungeon we're in, I could equip this and kind of help set up the hitter in that way. Similar thing if you're going to go for the elemental traps here as well. Again, grab the one that fits for your specific school, and then if you are again like ice, life, death, myth, any balance, any school that kind of can really, if they're in a part of a team, can really like help the hitter set up for a hit, you know, definitely go for your opposite trap spell as well. Now, moving on to the next one. Okay, so now we're going to be popping over to Celestia. Now in Celestia here, you'll start to gain access to enchants and bubbles and all that fun stuff. So essentially what you guys are going to want to do, and again, this is the same for all schools here, is you're just going to come over here to the Sun School here, and you'll see this enchant called Strong. You guys want to make sure you pick that up. You can unlock that level 50. Then you want to immediately then go into Giant, which you can get at level 52. Then, because you can see it kind of stops right here, so you want to go over to the Floating Lands, which is going to be this little guy right over here. It's going to be the third area you go to in Celestia. So you want to head over to the Floating Lands here, because this is where you'll gain access to the next bit of enchants that you'll need here. Alright, so then you want to go over here to this Sun School's trainer pedestal thing here, where you'll get access to Monstrous at level 56, so you want to go ahead and train into that, as well as then at level 58, go ahead and train into Gargantuan. These will definitely come in handy to kind of boost the damage that your spells can do here. So let's prepare for the next one. Now, I'm going to kind of want to throw this in here, but you guys could also pick up this Amplify bubble here that gains you an extra 15 damage to all spells for 4 rounds. You guys could pick this up here. However, to be honest, in Arc 2, I really just, doesn't really seem worth it. I've never really been in a case scenario where I've had to use this at all. Same thing goes here with Fortify, where you can gain an extra like 15 resist to any incoming spell for 4 rounds. Again, these 2 spells really aren't really necessary as of right now. However, in the future, especially if you guys wanted to get into PvP and go for something like Brace or the other spell that's at level 100 that kind of piggybacks off of Amplify here, then you guys could, if you have extra training points laying around, go ahead and pick these up now. However, if not, go ahead and leave those alone. And we'll be moving on to the next one in Safaria. Alrighty, now when you're here in Safaria, you're gonna get a quest from Inyanga White Stripes here that's going to take you into the Zamunda. And basically in Zamunda, it's going to be kind of like a side quest. It's going to get you access to this other astral pedestal here. And it's going to be inside of the Zamunda little fortress palace. I don't know really what you call this here, but it's going to be inside of this, the actual like Zamunda place here. Okay, so now this quest is going to take you basically over to the princess, and she's going to give you another quest that's going to go defeat some baddies. Once you get this unlocked here, you guys could go for Berserk here, which is kind of like a lesser feint, except you have it for 4 rounds. And basically essentially acts the same way as Feint, where you increase the damage output to your opponents by 30% while also increasing the damage that you take by also 40%. And this time this lasts for 4 rounds. Now, if you are the life school, you guys could also pick up the Mending aura here, which basically gives you a plus 20 outgoing heal for the next 4 rounds, which will increase your outgoing healing for 4 rounds. So you guys could also pick this up too if you guys are life. Now, you guys also could pick up Cosmic Charge here if, like, say you do some PvP. However, I've never really had to use this, and I also don't really PvP, so I don't really know how useful this could be. But, you know, if you guys wanted to have some extra Pierce going around, you guys could do this here. But I'm just going to put that as, like, kind of like an honorable mention because, you know, I don't really see it, at least for the PvE aspect, not really worth it. But moving on to the next one. Alright, so the next one here is going to be in Drum Jungle. It's going to be right at the entrance to Waterfront here. And essentially it's going to be the Sun School spell over here. And you're going to get access to Colossal right here for level 64. Go ahead and pick that up. Now, essentially to get this quest to pop here, you have to do the one in the preload quest in Zamunda to get that other trainer school active there. And in which case you'll get this quest over here from the monkey lady over here, the gorilla lady, which I don't remember her name, which is kind of funny because we just, on my balance, we just went through here. Aha, the Cocoa Smoke Sign. So she'll drop you the quest, which is kind of like a side quest to do to unlock that trainer school spell over there. But yeah, so you guys want to go ahead and pick up Colossal. Now moving on to the next one. All right, now as another kind of honorable mention here, especially if you are a solo player and you're ever in a situation where you are fighting not only a boss, but the minions that are the same school as you. Instead of taking multiple turns to use a convert, you could just grab these mass prisms over here. Again, this is kind of like a very niche thing to have to run into and have to use this. I don't really have, or not really in a situation where I have to use that a whole lot anymore, I don't think. So that's why I'm kind of giving it an honorable mention and just kind of showing off where you guys can get it over here. It's going to be this little pony in the wild after you save her from the white tower over yonder. But yeah, again, very kind of niche thing, but if you guys want to pick that up, this is where you can go pick it up from. All right, now similar thing over here to the mass prisms here, also in the same area after you save this village and unfreeze them. There's going to be this lady over here that's going to give you some other quests here, or other spells here that are going to be your kind of like your pure blades here. You guys can grab these if you guys want. Again, at least for PvE anyways, I don't really find myself in a situation where I have to use any of these. In PvP, you might feel like you need to use them, or it might be good to have them. But at least for PvE anyways, these are again kind of really niche. So again, I'm giving this honorable mention so that way if you guys want to grab them, you guys know where to find them. And they're going to be kind of in this little area over here by the Winter Worm in the Fire Elf Village. But moving on to Azteca. All right, now over here in Azteca, this is kind of where you'll get like a big buff here. So you want to go over here to the Star Schools trainer here. This is something you'll get kind of towards the, I want to say maybe towards the end of Azteca. Or maybe this is kind of like more towards the beginning here, but you see these little auras here. These are kind of really good at this level. So you want to grab the one that's better for your school. Like for fire, for instance, it's going to be furnace. For storm, it's going to be galvanic field. Ice is sleet storm, so on and so forth. Life kind of gets two. They get the circle of life, which is good for healing, and then they also get, let me find it. Aha, devotion, which is more so if you're like soloing and need extra damage. That's where you can find it there. Okay. Like, huh? Then you want to go over here to the Sun School here, and this will be at level 86. Okay, so this is further down in through Azteca here. For every school minus life here, or actually including life, you want to go ahead and grab the Potent Trap here. These you could use these on your feints to increase the damage you could do, as well as the Sharpen Blade, which again, same thing as the Potent. This will allow you to sharpen your blades. You actually can put on an extra 10% damage stacked to those blades. That way, instead of your 35 blade doing just 35 damage, it's actually now 45. Now, if you are life, this spell right here, Primordial, is going to be really good for you, because then you can increase your healing spells by 100. If you are of the life school, you want to go ahead and pick that up as well. If you're not of the life school and you're not going to really do any healing, I wouldn't bother wasting your time with that one. Now, just for an honorable mention, there is the Moon School right here. However, it's not really, again, using moon spells are kind of just a very niche thing, so I wouldn't waste time picking those up. All right, so now the next ones you guys want to grab here are going to be from Sophia Darkside over here. Now, the way this works here is that once you complete the quest with her, she's going to drop you one of 3 spells, depending on the school class that you are. It's either going to be the Shadow Sentinel, the Shadow Seraph, oh, good lord, or Shrike. Now, Shrike is something I already have, which is right here. So basically, Shrike will act when you have it on for a couple of rounds. It'll give you 50 pierce, as well as an extra 10% of damage on top of that as well. The Shadow Seraph will actually help you with healing for the same amount of time, and the Shadow Sentinel will actually be for you, for those of you that are like a tank school. This will help you tank damage, as well as you'll actually intercept damage that your teammates take. So instead of them taking the full brunt of like, let's say 4,000 damage, they'll get half of that. You'll get like the other half, or maybe it's like a little less than half, but anyways, you get the point. So that's kind of how it is. And depending on the school you are, you'll either get one of these 3 spells naturally after you basically complete the mainline quest from her. I would highly recommend, no matter what school you are, especially if you ever find yourself having to solo at any point, to get Shadow Shrike. Now, if you are a hitting school like Fire, the other 2 shadow spells are not really kind of useful to you. But if you are a school that would normally do like a tank role or a support role in a group setting, then I would highly recommend not only getting your natural one, depending on what school you are, but then also grabbing Shrike for in case you ever have to solo. All right, now in the Arcanum here, there's going to be, once you can actually speak to some of these professors here, there's going to be this astral one over here that you guys can go visit here. And once the game loads, there we go. Perfect. You guys can talk to Kyburn over here. And now this is where you guys can grab not only some of the ones from the other Celestia pedestals that you guys could have grabbed or maybe missed, but then you guys can grab say let's see. So you guys can do Berserk here. You can grab that, which will then upstart you into, where is it? I'm looking. Aha! So this is where you can get your brace, which is the better version of Fortify. You can get Magnify, which again is the better version of Amplify. You can get Frenzy, which is the better version of Berserk here. Let me actually grab Berserk now that I'm here. So let me grab that. Now, when you get to this point in the game right here, where you can actually unlock Frenzy, I would highly recommend using Frenzy over the Feint. just because you don't have to waste a pip to actually set it up, and you can actually have it for 4 turns. So that way, in the event that your first hit doesn't succeed, you still have it up and can follow it up with a second hit. And it's easier for speedrunning to just do that. You guys could like combo it or still use Feint. I still used Feint all the way up until about like a year ago, until Wallaroo came out, and then I switched to using Frenzy. Mostly because most bosses have a cheat on them where nowadays where you can't really use a Feint on them, but you can kind of skirt around that by using Frenzy. So that's one thing to look there. Now, the most important thing right here is going to be your epic spell right here. This, in order to get this, Colossal is required to grab. But don't worry, we already have that from Safaria, so go ahead and pick that up to get yourself the epic enchant there. Now, again, if you are a support school, I would also highly recommend picking up Aegis and Indemnity. Aegis, I believe, is the one that goes for your shield or your traps. So essentially, you could, like, say if a boss cheats and removes, like, doesn't allow you to put a feint on them, you could put the Aegis on the feint, and that would basically protect it. So that way, when they do their cheat to remove the feint, it just removes that protection, but the feint is still there. Indemnity kind of does the same thing, but with blades. If there's a boss that doesn't allow you to do blades, then you put this on your blades, and then it puts a protection spell on it, so that way when they do the cheat, removes the protection but keeps the blades. Now, unfortunately, this does mean that you, on whatever blades you put that on, you wouldn't be able to do, like, say, your sharpen, because you couldn't do that at the same time. But, you know, again, it's kind of niche. And you won't really run into a whole lot of bosses that will have something like that, especially if you're in a group setting. But it's always a good thing to have, just in case you ever do run into a fight where you have that kind of issue running on. Now, Radial here is the kind of upgrade to Primordial. If you are a life, I would highly recommend grabbing Radical here. Now, with all that being said here, again, kind of like this, probably like kind of self-explanatory, but you know, the Astro School here, you could also pick these up, pick up the ones that you missed throughout the other worlds. Now, as it goes without saying, the side quests that unlock those Astral School spells in, like, say, Safaria, Celestia, Azteca, those kind of side quests that get them going and get them unlocked for you. If you don't do that, you won't be able to actually access them through the Celestia School right here, or the Astral School right here. You'll actually have to go back and actually do those side quests. But just want to put that out there just to let y'all know. Now, after all that's being said, I still have 34 training points remaining, and that's not even with doing all of the side quests that actually gives you more training points than that, so you can actually have like even more than this. But this is just what I have currently. I'm going to kind of show you guys some other areas where you guys can go to kind of grab some other spells that could also help you as well. One of those being in Colossus Boulevard. Over here inside of the Colossus Boulevard here, it's going to be in this little side perch right here, right in here, right where my little cursor is on the map here. Essentially, you're going to want to go up to this person here. Now, if you're life, this life trap right here could also be really good for you. If you're balanced, this one is a must-have. A reshuffle here, this allows you to reshuffle all your cards back into your deck. If you are a solo player and you kind of run with a lot of cards in your deck, and it kind of takes you a lot of let's say spells to kind of get up to stuff and do the damage and whatever, and you're ever in a situation where you need to have more spells, like something doesn't go right in the fight, you're running out of blades, whatever. For other schools, you guys can pick this up, but this just isn't really as necessary as it is for balance, mostly because it would cost you 4 pips to cast it, whereas balance would only take them 2 power pips. Now, you guys could also, for certain spells or certain fights where you need to dispel people, like I know one in Wallaroo. I can't remember the fight, but it's on the it's on the death ship, I think it's called, and it's that storm boss. And you know, this is where you guys could grab some dissipate here. Basically, kind of, if a boss cheats a certain spell, certain school spell a lot, you guys could cast some of this here to basically stop them from doing that. Again, if you're a hitting school, I wouldn't really, it's kind of like hit or miss. If you have the extra training points, go for it. If you're a support school, I would highly recommend going for it. But this is something that something optional that you guys could spend your training points on. So I just kind of wanted to show that off right here in this video. Now, a couple other optional spells and where to find them that I'm going to show here kind of at the end of the video here. There's another one over here in the Fairgrounds here by Sabrina Greenstar. This is where you can grab your shields to specific schools. You can actually grab this at level 10, and this will basically be your what some people call like your set shields or whatever in PvP. So you guys can grab some of these here if you guys want to grab them with your extra training points. Now, another one right here is going to be Diego here over in the PvP arena area. You guys can grab the stun block, or you guys can grab conviction too for that one fight in the one fight that comes to mind in. I can never remember his name, but it's the graveyard fight in Darkmoor. So you guys can grab this here, or you guys could just grab the TCs. But if you guys have extra training points, I highly recommend going for this. But you guys could also go for stun block here as well. Now, if you do a lot of PvP related activities here, you guys could also grab some of this over here, like the Congregation here, Wall of Blades, Glacial Fortress, Tranquility, Jin's Restoration, Defense, all that fun stuff. I don't PvP, so these aren't really useful to me, and I actually don't know how useful they are in PvP. I just know a lot of people use them in PvP. So you guys could also grab a lot of this here too. But this is more of like PvP, more so related here. But yeah, that's kind of like a niche thing in PvP, but that's where you guys could also grab them too here in the PvP arena. All right, but that's gonna pretty much do it for today's video here. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like, or make sure to smash the like button. If you guys think I've missed anything in this video, let me know down in the comment section below. And let me know down in the comment section below, do you guys use the Feint or do you guys use Frenzy? Let me know down in the comment section below. And you know, like always, if you guys are not subscribed already, go ahead and subscribe, and make sure when you do to click the bell for notifications so that you guys get a nice little ring-a-ding-ding-a-ding whenever I go live or post a new video. And I'll see you guys all in the next one. Peace.